Welcome to the Shut Up and Ride podcast. Oh my God, why do I always start this laughing? I am obviously with Ben and Simon, and we are doing our first live one. So this feels a bit weird because there's cameras. So anyone listening to this on audio and not watching it on the YouTube channel, if we sound a bit weird, it's because we're doing it live in someone's home. I have interviewed this man, I would say, God, in so many different countries, in front of massive audiences. We've done it live in front of huge audiences and theatres for charities. I've interviewed him at Olympics. But on this podcast, I'm interviewing him as my friend. It is the brilliant, the wonderful. He is as lovely as he comes across. It is Carl Hester. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
It's a pleasure. It is like a radio show I've always wanted to be on. There's so many things to say. There's so many things to talk about. There's so many things like in interviews, like you said, that all the things we've talked about over the years that we never... You're always talking about performances, aren't you? And all the things we've done mostly, especially with shows.
What was that centre line, Carl? Exactly. How did it feel? Yeah.
Well, I always say the right thing there, don't you? Because you have to, and that's competing. You have to say the right thing, and you have to be aware that, like every little thing that you talk about, people, take literally. So I always think, like, you've got to be careful what you say. And I've learned that over the years. Probably better to say nothing at some points than everything, but I'm sure tonight will be different, so let's see.
Well, we'll see. And I've got to ask, how well do you know these two gorgeous gentlemen?
I know them actually. Yeah. Simon and I, have communicated for a few years. I know about his eventing. I follow them both, so on social media.
Do you follow his YouTube channel?
I don't. I actually don't do YouTube, so his YouTube channel will be brand new to me.
It is very new. It's only been in existence for 2 weeks.
Okay, well that's why.
So you're doing okay. It's okay.
That's why. And Ben, I've actually been at Your Horse Live with. I met him and his wife there a few years ago when he was doing his thing. Both amazing, both fantastic. I love all sorts of equestrian. So I am not actually. I'm a dressage person, but I'm not. I'm quite happy to go and do a day's racing, a day's eventing. Go and watch Ben do his shows. I'm interested in all of it. I love all of it.
And tennis, as we were just talking about.
Tennis, nothing to do with equestrian. I don't know why.
Because it's so different.
I just think it's just so easy for me to watch, and I can follow it. I understand it. I play tennis.
Is it like in
badly?
Or out? It's easy.
Well, I totally get that because I love I'm a bit bad because when Wimbledon comes on, I become slightly obsessed with it.
Me too.
It's just such a great sporting event. I love it.
But when I play, I'm a proper dressage rider. I only stand on the centre line. So I stand at A or C, and you have to hit the ball
to come to you.
You have to hit the ball to me, and then I hit it back. So I'm not probably the best competitor, but I am. If you just want to lose some weight and play for an hour, then you'd probably play with me. As long as you don't. And I like going corner to corner. So I make you run around, but you don't make me run around. Do you know how it works?
It's just a leisurely, like, you're in the middle.
If that doesn't happen, then you don't get invited.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I have been, in 2012, after London, we got invited to Wimbledon. And all gold medalists get invited, I think, every year, actually, from Olympics. And they all get invited to a day in the Royal Box. It was just fantastic. My dentist was sat a few rows outside the Royal Box.
It's the most random conversation.
And she texted me and she said, "What the hell are you doing in the Royal Box?" So anyway, I get my message. So I thought, show those teeth that she'd been cleaning so well. So I just turned and I said, "Where are you sitting?" So she said, "On your left." So I turned and gave her a great big smile. And she was sat there. It was my birthday on the day I went. So it was 29th of June. And so Sue Barker, who was obviously
legend
hosting, I mean, she is a legend, you're right. So she announced my birthday, and I stood up, and Wimbledon gave me a clap. So I kind of have an affinity with tennis, probably because I love it.
Super special.
It was really special. Yeah, really, really special. A special moment, which London, did for so many people.
That is
Treats.
nuts.
It's really important because Carl's not had a chance to have many special moments in front of lots of people.
No, but some that as you get older, as well, your memory gets a little bit worse. So you don't remember many of those special moments. But it's interesting, I always think of the Wimbledon one.
Do you think that maybe that's as well because there's no pressure in that one? There you were just being, if there's a difference, like my wife jokes and says I'm Ben and Ben Atkinson. And the difference of being able to just be Carl and not like the Carl Hester. Like, just being able to go to places like that and just be like, oh, I'm just me. There's no sponsors watching. I can do it as a live.
Well, that's true. But it is also lovely meeting, like we are all so wrapped up in our sports, should I say.
Yeah.
And having opportunities, which these things give you to meet other sports people. And just talk about your journeys, just talk about, your commitments, talk about, what you give up in your life, what you get out of your life. I mean, I don't think I've ever met anyone in, certainly in equestrian sports, that love is still the thing that makes them do it. I mean, they're still the love of their job.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I went to a school where I can't remember anyone out of 700 odd people doing horses, or ended up doing horses, obviously my career. But they all work in banks and, real jobs.
Proper jobs, yeah.
But do any of them love it? No, so few of them love it. So it's really interesting because sports people seem to love what they do.
Yeah.
And so many people that didn't get a chance to like pick a job that they really wanted.
But we're so lucky, aren't we? Because we've got longevity with it as well.
Yeah.
Like most sports, you kind of like, you're retiring.
So's a bank manager. But they still don't love it. So I'm like, kind of, well, that says it all, doesn't it? I mean, you're making more money as you get older, presumably, when you're in the money industry, and I come from the Channel Islands, it was very much a career that people went into, banking and stuff like that. So, yeah.
You've just broken the mould from there, but do you feel like when you go to those places and you're seeing these other athletes, is there a level of also, because we've said this, haven't we? We spoke to Becky Moody on our podcast and she came back and she was like, we went to this big party and they were all like having a month off, going around the Caribbean or going somewhere, having 6 months off. They'll be training again next summer. But horses, you don't get that. You have to stay on top of it, on forms. Is there ever a level of like kind of competitive jealousy with these other sportsmen who get to kind of have a bit of downtime?
Well, no, not at all. So I think from what we've just said, I mean, that's what I love doing. So
yeah,
I have enough time. I mean, my favourite, one of my favourite quotes is always, never get too busy making a living. You forget to make a life. I mean, it's a brilliant,
that's a good one.
It's a good way to live. And, like, I'm sure this will attract, as all things do, a lot of social media. And then you get people that don't like you or people that say things about you. My other favourite quote there is, it's none of your business what other people think about you. If you live like that, actually, it's quite good because then you stop worrying about what other people think about you because it is none of your business. They will think what they think. So those are two quotes I actually try and live by. That one for social media and that one for my work balance on life.
But I think like, however much I say to myself when I see someone slagging me off on a website or, oh, she's so dull, or one of them doesn't look like she could have fun in a bar. I was like, you come to a bar, love, I'll show you.
Not that you remember that.
I don't remember. I've got more written down. I know who their social media handle is. And you say that, but I do find that's quite difficult. I do find that it does sit with me. Am I really that boring? Am I really that much of a prat?
Get to my level where you just like block them all. They're blocked. They're all blocked. I don't read it now because it's blocked. I would read it if I didn't block it. So that's quite like, I haven't got the strength to not read it if I can.
That's interesting.
But blocking it gives me the strength. I'll do 5 days of like, I want to know what they're doing. And then I'll say to someone else, what they're saying? What they're saying? Can you see what they're saying? And then finally I'm like, no, it's gone. It's left me. I don't need to see it anymore. It's gone.
And Carl, so you're talking about the life balance thing. Do you think that you've achieved that?
Yeah,
you think like cause you were saying you taught 11 lessons today. Like,
11.
That's
yeah,
that's...
but I do. This doesn't happen every day, so because I'm running, but I try and like the work balance for my horses also is 4 days a week. I don't work them 7 days a week. They do 4 days a week. So then I have other days where I can do a full day of teaching or something. But no, I really, as I've got older, Sunday lunch.
I was going to say, have you always been like that, or
no,
so you didn't have the right balance before?
No, and it ruined a lot of things in my life. It ruins relationships, it ruins friendships, because you haven't got time to see people. So it's helped me, that saying, really, which I know just sounds like ridiculous, but it's helped me. It's helped me like see my friends more often, make efforts. And I mean, I'm glad I've still got friends. I'm going to be 58 this year. So I am glad that I still have a really big group of friends from my 20s. Mm-hmm. And I think we all think that's important. It doesn't matter who did what, but I still have that group of friends because I try and make an effort, as they do. You know, like everybody's working. They could easily do. They could say what I say. Oh, I'm riding every day. I haven't got time to see you, but they don't.
Have you got any friends who still don't know what the fuck you do? We've all got them.
Yes, I suppose so. And I mean,
those are the best
but isn't that
friends.
quite good? Because
Yeah.
I mean, like, so they'd be like my old school friends. If I go back to the Channel Islands or something, you know, it's a no-no. I mean, I can't go in and sit down to dinner and go, oh, my half past was just a nightmare today. Couldn't get that bend. Because they would just be like, but just like they can't say to me, their money figures just don't add up. So I'd be like, good. What are we having to eat?
Yeah.
You know, so like, you know, so you're just friends, you know, so you can talk about most things, and I don't mind they don't know what I do. Doesn't matter, does it?
That's what levels you, because you do have a lot of people.
It really does. So this story is absolutely true. So I go back to Sark after London, right? And so I went to school in Sark. So we were 25 kids in a school. So, you know, one teacher. So I hadn't been back for a while, and my grandmother was still alive then. She lived on Sark, and my grandmother had a mouth like a foghorn. She told everybody everything I did, and whenever I did it, and she put, if I was in the Horse and Hound, she'd rip the page out and put it up in the, you know, like in the news agents or whatever. A big supporter, but I went back there and I took a group of friends back there. Because I was like, no, but people need to go and see Sark.
Yeah.
If you have never been, because
It's
you
actually
can't
a
quite
bucket
believe
list, isn't it?
it's still almost as it was. No cars. And so I took this group of friends and we went into a tea garden to have like lunch or something. So the girl coming towards us, I was like, this is Vanessa, I used to go to school with her. So Vanessa comes over, she goes, so she speaks, there's 10 of us sitting there, she goes, hi, can I take your order? She says anything to me. So everyone's like ordering everything, and then she gets round to me at the end of it, and then she said, can I take your order? And I went, Vanessa, hi, don't you remember me? And she was like, yeah, hi Carl, how are you? It meant absolutely nothing to what I'd been. I hadn't been on the island for 25 years. I'd left the island, 20 odd years ago. She was just like, and I like that. I actually quite liked it. At the beginning, I was a bit like, oh, she's not going to say, what have you been doing? Where have you been? What's happening? I quite liked it. I was like, that's actually, this is it. They don't care. They don't care what I've done. Apart from the fact, the only thing I feel, the best thing I've done is be an ambassador for the place I've come from.
Yeah.
As in, like, tourism in the Channel Islands, go to the Channel Islands if you've never been. It's fantastic.
Secretly, she might have been like, do you know how many people coming in? Do you know Carl Hester? So secretly, she's like, I hate him.
Yeah, she gave me what was due. But, I mean, that is, people's, perception of what you do is not always what you think it is.
Well, and having those mates that are away from it. So, like, my two best mates I've known since I was about 3 years old. And one of them's a musician and one of them does like landscaping and he's a mechanic and all that sort of thing. I don't know anything about like you say, about any of the things they do. They know I do horses, but it's lovely when you see those people because it actually is an escape from
Have
work.
they come and seen what you do? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you have a spectacular job.
Oh, bless you. Thank
No,
you
but
very
it's
much.
spectacular, isn't it? It's a spectacular show you put on. So, like, if your friends, even if they knew nothing about what you did, I mean, it's a spectacular.
Yeah, no, and they get it like
Do
that.
they come and watch
They'll come and
Yeah.
watch, and they've
Yeah.
come and they've given a hand. Like if I've been, because we do these big productions and stuff, and so if I'm like low on the ground, I'm like, Parrot, JD, come on, come and dress as a Roman soldier and stand in the back of a chariot. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And so they get it like that, but they just aren't. It's nice to have those people disconnected from it.
But I think what's interesting as well, like, I mean, like the job that you have because you're an entertainer, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So, like meeting you, not knowing you very well, but meeting you, you're obviously like quite a gentle soul and quite peaceful and all that. But you actually stand up there, and I know how difficult that is to stand up there and in front of all those people and be, you're being paid to entertain. So you can't just shut up and just say, oh, look at me riding a horse, I'm fantastic. You've got to make them laugh. You've got to tell them what you're doing. Your animals have to do spectacular things. I mean, so your friends might have their jobs, but I mean, actually what you do, I think, is like far more... I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's just hard. It's just a much harder job to like be this personality.
It's hard, but it's. I think from like our aspect of the horse world, there are some parts that make it so much easier. As in, so like I was performing at Hoy's for a week. There are 7 performances over the week. I'm meant to do the same show within reason every time. The first 3 shows are the same, the last 3 shows are the same. But when I went in for that 4th show in the middle of the week, I could feel that my horses had gone sour. So I just had a giggle to myself and thought, well, I hope the boys on the spotlights are awake because we're going rogue. And just did stuff that I knew the horses would rather do that day.
Yeah.
And so, like, within reason, that's much easier for me because there's not a set course of jumps. There's not a set test. My job is to make people smile,
But that's
laugh,
what
and have
people
a
don't
nice time.
realise. So, like, if you're doing a 5-day show like London, this is what I realised this year when I was watching that guy at London this year. And somebody said, oh, he's doing 2. And I was there 3 days into the show. 5 days he has to do this. Twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people pay a ticket to go into a show, right? And they expect the best.
Yeah.
You cannot
You've got to
have
be
an
on
off
point.
day.
Yeah.
So day 3, and I was watching these horses, and I heard he'd fallen off. I think he had a fall the day before.
Yeah, nasty fall.
Not nice. But people have paid to go in, and they do want to see what the person the day before saw.
Yeah.
It's like going to a show in London, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to...
You watch Les Mis, you want to be
Yeah. You presume it's, like they have to be on form all the time.
Yeah.
It's an amazing job that people do.
Do you think, and it's like with non-horsey friends, it's less impressive because when you work with horses, you know how hard it is to actually train them. So when I see you guys doing your thing to the level you guys do it, I'm in utter awe because I think all of you are absolute geniuses. But do you think if you've never been around horses or worked with them, you don't really know how hard it is? So maybe it's not as impressive for someone who's not horsey. I don't know. Is it more impressive for horsey people or less impressive?
Well, totally. I mean, obviously, eventing, for instance, Simon's doing a really physical job, right? Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous and it's physical.
What a lad.
Words that have
What
never
a
been
man.
spoken
Maybe
about
not.
Simon before. What a lad. Yeah.
But so yours is an entertainment. My job is to make it look like I'm not doing anything.
Yes.
So that's worse actually, because I mean the horse is doing a lot of the work. Of course it is, but I'm trying to communicate
That's
with it.
definitely where I go wrong with myself because I come out sweating and
Well, that's one of your favours. That's one of your favours. But of course, you can then show your prowess over the jumps in your cross country. That's what you're really. So it's very visual, and yours is very visual. I mean, mine. I kind of feel I'm supposed to do nothing. The horse has to look doing everything. It's supposed to be peaceful and calm. And so I do understand why a lot of my friends who are not horsey would look at it and be like,
You can't get fit doing that.
good God. And he calls himself an athlete.
For us, even more frustratingly, there's a lot of stuff in performance, whether it's like the Liberty stuff or the stunt stuff with the horses, where we have certain tricks that we'll say are for other people in the industry. Because it's phenomenally hard to train, like even more ridiculously hard to pull off in a show environment. Yeah. And the crowd will see it and just be like, Yeah. Whereas the other professionals in the audience will watch it and they're like, oh my God, like this is insane.
Yeah.
And then you'll do something so basic, like for us, like what should be like a level 1 thing, which is like walk the horse in and bow it or lay it down. And everyone's like, oh, yes. And so sometimes that can be heartbreaking because you're like, I've spent 2 years working on this and I just did it and none of you even clapped. And then I did something that I've been able to do since I was 9 and you're all like...
Yeah.
Anyone can stand on it, Ben. But just don't all stay on.
Yeah. You've been to Your Horse Live. So the best thing that happened to me at Your Horse Live, I did Your Horse Live quite a few years in a row.
Yeah.
And it's quite difficult coming up every year with something different. So anyway,
are you not entertained?
But I would be like, these fabulous dressage horses that I would take. And, I remember taking Horton Stelicato, who went on to the World Games and Europeans. And he was amazing. He was 6 or 7 years old and he was a picture. He was like a show horse. And he came in and Amy Woodhead was riding for me at the time. And Amy shows him off beautifully. And I'm like, he's an eye force. I'm watching it. I'm doing this demo and I'm watching him and I'm like, this horse, this guys, is a future like championship horse. Look at him. How can you? And they liked it, they liked it. But in the afternoon, I then had to come back for my second demo, and I took a coloured cob.
Oh yeah. And
this coloured cob was fabulous. He had these huge hair from his knees down, like the hair was like this. So she comes in, she's trotting around, and the crowd. I could immediately already feel the difference in the atmosphere for the love for this cob. Yeah. So I said to her, what can't you do? She said, you just can't do length and strides. Quite normal, like with a cob, because they're very, action, aren't they? They're this way, this way.
They're designed to pull from the chest, aren't they?
So I said to her, show everybody. I mean, like there was 1,000 people there. So she goes down alongside and she goes for it, and it's like chip chop, chip chop, chip chop, chip chop. And I was like, no, I see a problem. So I said, right, come around the short side, and then I said, listen, crowd. I said, when she comes around the short side, when she hits that corner, I want you all to clap. I said, like, burst into applause. So she comes around the corner, this cob is like, oh, not again. And then I say, okay, clap. And the crowd just clapped. And this cob took off in an extended trot like you've never seen. Out here like this. And it was like, I mean, they went mad. Yeah, they loved it. And it was almost like the end of the demo. I need to stop there and then. So they were all laughing and crying with laughter and joy. And I said, actually, this is really like what normal people want to see, because they can relate to that. And they related to this cob. And I could relate the fact that, well, actually, it's all about impulsion. You've just given it the impulsion to give it the chance to do this movement. That's what the horse has just learned. So don't ever think that, because your horse moves like that, it can't do it. It's all about this word impulsion, which is really important in dressage. So it was just, it made me realise that day then, it's no good showing it's not all about what's perfect, what's great, what's marvellous. Because most people don't have a life like that, or train horses like that. As you were just saying, I'll have days where you can't do anything about the fact that they're not tuned in or ready or had enough, like I said, sour earlier. You can get it.
You are, having interviewed you, I know you, I'll never forget when you first met me and you were doing some thing with the Spanish riding school and I met you at something and you were like, oh, I've got tickets, do you want to come? I'll give you my number, you can text me later if you could come. And I was like, oh my God, Carl Hester just gave this. I've known you on camera, off camera, but I feel like you are the kind of person you will always put a smile on it. So even if it's been a disaster, you are very good you'll always do media, you'll always do press. You are very good at kind of going, right, this is my job, that part of it. How hard is it when it is shit and when, sometimes we do just go, do you know what? Even though it looks on paper that was good, it might not have been.
Yeah.
How are you mentally, after a show? Are you the kind of person who can, pocket it, look at it, or are you the kind of person who goes back and beats yourself up about it? How are you, because what I see is someone who's always got it together.
It mostly goes well. So
that'll be me just getting back in the box.
All I'm just saying is,
I'm unaware what a bad round feels like.
That sounded well. It was supposed to actually sound okay because I was about to say it mostly goes well because, and I'm not saying there's mostly go well and mostly go well. My mostly go well isn't about winning a gold medal, a silver medal, or a bronze medal. My mostly go well is if the horse did the best it can, I can be positive, right? So that is my positivity.
Wow, yeah, that is.
So, nice. And I learned
You've pulled that back, by the way.
No, because I'm going to tell you another story in a minute. So, which isn't a go well. But so the reason I got to that stage in my life to think about that was when I had Nip Tuck, who was who struggled to do the job, but his intelligence and his brain made him the best he could be. And then I had Charlotte on Belegro, who was the superstar and who was winning medal after medal after medal. Nobody could get near him. And I started thinking, I can't keep going home thinking, oh, I'm 10th. This was a disaster, or 11th or 12th, wherever I came. And I suddenly thought, no, actually, I've got to stop doing this. This horse did the best he could do. There was nothing else I could do, nothing else he could do. So, do you know what? I'm going to turn... my head has got to be, he just won his gold medal. And I won mine with him. So that stopped me. No, it's not hard, actually. It's not hard when you actually get your head around it. It's fine.
Okay.
Because I'd also had Utopia, and I've had other medal horses. So it was fine because I've had it. Having won a medal, an individual medal as well, that's fine. Your boxes are ticked. So then every horse is a bonus, and not every horse is going to be a superstar. So that's what I mean about it mostly goes well for me, because I just think, because all the horses that came after that still didn't win medals were still really good on the day, so that was all fine. Last year was, again, considering the circumstances we were under with Paris, it went well. It couldn't have gone better considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
But the surrounding, like the press coverage and the media and everything was, taught me a real lesson because, you have to be really strong to go and stand out there and talk about it and talk about how the team had evolved and what's happened. But you must always look for the positive story. So Becky, who you've interviewed, Becky Moody, was our positive story. And I was like, that's what I'm dealing with.
She radiates positivity.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
a hot bomb, she told us, that you dealt with very well.
Well, yeah. Oh my God. Becky will tell you herself. This was like, for me, this was like, right, you need to think of something really quick here. You need to start coming up with ideas, how we're going to get this horse to relax and settle. And how
at the Olympics.
How you're,
at the Olympics.
And what sort of talking to are you going to give Becky? Because I'm not I wasn't until then, actually. I'm quite sort of like, it's all going to be fine. And I was like, right, lady, you listen to me. You've got to pull yourself together. And, this is how it's going to be. You rode yourself onto that team, so you've got to do it. And that horse is brilliant, and we're going to get our heads around it. So it's very difficult to learn how to deal with situations where her head's blowing because the horse is blowing. It was all a lot to take in, and of course she delivered these amazing performances, and that was my story of positivity that came out of a very difficult situation. So that's what you have to look for when things are difficult. There's always a positive, that you can take for it, and at the end of the day, we're all having to promote and sell our sport to a lot of people that don't understand it, don't like it. Mm-hmm. Of course, we all have a huge following in the sport, but those aren't the people you need to sell it to.
Yeah, they're on board.
They're already
You
there.
say this all the time, Simon, don't you?
They're already
people.
there. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't know your backstory. You've told me yours tonight. I know my friends' backstories, and there's so many brilliant stories of people that are from non-horsey families that made it anyway, came through in a different way. Becky, been chipping away for 20 years. God, could you have given up? Yes.
Well, she'd always kind of said she would be the bridesmaid and never the bride.
Here she is. But I didn't win my first medal until I was around 40. Yeah. So I just got used to going to shows and thinking, well, we never went to the prize giving, so I was just like, right, well, at least we can go home. What time's that last class? And we'll go home then. We didn't have to stay, because we didn't win anything. And then suddenly you win something, and your life just changes like that. Because then you're like, actually, I need to win more of that now, and that's what happens.
Do you think that's where you are fortunate? Because I watch a lot of sport documentaries. The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan, things like that, amazing. But most people's sporting careers in most other sports is over by 30-ish. If you're in cricket, 36 is great. Football, I wouldn't be sure. Rugby, 32, you're doing well. Do you think because horse riding gives you that longevity in the sport, this is how you've become so wise? Were you this wise in your 20s?
No, of course not.
Yeah, so you've...
Of course not.
So you're what a luxury.
Right. Yeah, so I got to the age of winning, and I'd already been doing the sport for 20-odd years. Yeah. So I knew a lot about how it worked and what was going on, and I knew a lot of winners and I knew a lot of losers, and I loved the losers, by the way. They were my friends because I spent all the time with them.
So that also made the wins so much more special as well, because you know how hard it is to achieve.
Yeah. But I was at the bottom for years with people at the bottom. So you get that, and that, let's face it, is the pyramid. That's the bottom of the pyramid, because most people start there at that bottom bit. So you're all swimming around together, swilling around. Some of you will be able to climb up it, and some of you will stay there, and some of you might go halfway up. Yeah. But I loved my time at the bottom, of the pyramid, because we were just all great, in it together. And the top one, you have to be so careful that when you're at the top, you don't become unobtainable or exclusive or, different.
I found that with young riders.
Like, being at the top of events, exactly.
No, I was one of the
Were you a successful young rider?
No, and that really helped me with my career, like how to make it into a proper business.
Right.
Because I found it quite a few times with the young riders that were hugely successful at the beginning. And it came quite easy to them, whereas I was kind of busy, working quite hard and not getting the results, and they end up giving up. because when it starts going a bit wrong, it's really hard for them to lose. Whereas like when I started doing well, not that I ever won anything particularly big, but like, you know, and when I started doing well,
9 times around Burley is pretty fucking impressive. Can I just say?
Amazing.
I know, right? And on horses, I'm sorry, that are not always that easy.
There are
amazing.
things that impress me. 5-star eventing. You know, like, I mean, it is impressive because I still feel so many people who watch it on telly have no idea what it's like standing under a 5-star fence.
But I did have that with. I qualified to go 5-star when I was, 20, I think, and then that horse went wrong, and so I never got there, and then I didn't manage to qualify again for another 11 years, and it was a real slog through that. So when I actually did qualify for it, and I realised how incredibly hard it was to be able to qualify a horse to do it, let alone actually get there. So that made me every single time I'm so boring. I keep on going about it. I've done 18 5-stars, and every single one I appreciated, and I loved and enjoyed.
18 is such a big number.
Yeah.
I know.
How old are you?
42.
Oh, well done.
So I've done it in like 12 years.
That's pretty good, isn't
It's
it?
fucking amazing. And honestly, like, I guarantee there's not many people who could do what he can do on some of the horses he's ridden.
Yeah.
Like, he does.
Specialist.
And
A
he
tricky
won't
specialist.
sing. You do a little bit know how good you are, because you occasionally give us little insights of, no, do you know what? I know that horse is tricky and I did it well.
I've told you that story about when I went to see the Grand Jury at Hoe, which was the last 5-star I did. I had to have a conversation with them about something.
After your dressage test.
Yeah.
Did you say, do you know how difficult my horse is? You should have given me 10% more, because it's difficult.
Exactly.
Madam, before you write that score, would you like to ride this thing?
Exactly. Yes, that as well, yeah.
But I went to see this Grand Jury, and the chairman of the Grand Jury, I can't remember her name. She said, "Oh, how many 5-stars have you done?" And I said, "Well, actually, this is my 18th." And she was like, "Wow, that's amazing." And then one of the other Grand Jury members said, "Yes, and he's done it on some very average horses."
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not quite sure whether I should take that as a compliment.
Anything going around 5-star surely is not average.
I've had some really spectacularly good ones and some ones that aren't quite so brilliant.
But not average to go around a 5-star. Could you ever say that?
No, you can't.
No.
And it's all up there.
It's like a horse at Grand Prix, isn't it? I mean, it can't be average.
Yeah. They've got to have the will to do it and the brain to do it. I think the brain's the most important thing. Physically, they might not move that well, or their jumping technique might not be amazing. I think that's probably what he was angling.
Yeah.
Do you think you have a respect for eventers because your eventing career didn't go in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, my eventing career was simply ended because I chose dressage and I wasn't allowed to event anymore.
Do you think you could have done a 5-star?
No, probably not. No, probably not. And it was interesting because, I mean, I went back to eventing after dressage. And so, of course, I then realised, I mean, I think I got a 12 in the dressage.
All right.
And then I
never got a sub
so
30.
I was like, oh, this will give me a bit of room to go slowly.
Perfect.
But that was my first event after I had done dressage. Anyway, it was fine. I mean, I just remember going cross country, and I got around. I did win it, right? But I watched the video back afterwards, and I go to the bottom of nearly every fence because I had become so dressage-y. I was like, wait. And now I can't see it anyway, so wait again. And I watched the video afterwards, and I just thought, I haven't let go. I have not let that horse go. I have literally strangled it to the bottom of every fence and then galloped, bust out between every fence, and then got to the fence and gone, no, I can't let go. Come here. Jump here. And I mean, I just thought, I am going to either hurt a horse or hurt myself.
At least you had the foresight to see that.
I think we all get that feeling. I remember having that feeling. One year, I did Burley one year when I'd been injured. Well, I had a DVT, so I had to not ride for 3 months. But I was determined I was still going to go to Burley, and I came off the drugs so I could do the last prep run for the horse, and
What sort of drugs?
which was I was on warfarin.
Yeah. Oh.
And
So you can't possibly afford to cut yourself on that, surely.
exactly,
Yeah.
or fall off and bash your head. And then 2 days after I came off the warfarin, I did the horse's last run before Burley, which was my first event back, and I actually hadn't jumped. Well, I jumped 2 days before, and then so I jumped fence 2 on the cross country, came around the corner. Sorry, I'm going off on one now.
No, I love a tangent. It's brilliant.
I came,
Don't forget, Jenny has the cut.
Yes, exactly.
So this story may never be heard.
Not today. We've got Harry on the audio and the edit and the mics, like the wonderful Harry Sykes. So he's in charge. So if he thinks you're boring as fuck, then you're screwed.
Then he can turn off. But, came out, having not been cross country at all, came out the start box, jumped the fence too, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. I'm back. Went round the corner, horse slipped over and knocked me out. And my partner at the time came running over to the paramedics as I was waking up and said, "Oh, by the way, he came off warfarin 2 days ago."
He doesn't want revival.
yeah, exactly. He definitely said that.
DNR. He has a DNR. Has anyone told you? That's why he's your ex-partner.
Exactly.
You need to think about who you choose as a past from now on.
So then I was banned for 21 days, and that took me over past Burley, and I was like, I really want to do Burley. Like, having not ridden for 3 months, like, this is the stupidest idea ever. But anyway, so I managed to get it so that my ban was shortened. So it was raised on the Monday of Burley. So I arranged to do an open intermediate at Kiso on the Monday, and then I moved into Burley on the Tuesday, and then I rode round. And the reason I was thinking about it was I remember in the cross country warm up, circling away because I couldn't see a stride. In the warm up at Burley Horse Drive. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Oh my God, I feel sick.
And then I set off. You interviewed me afterwards, I think. Anyway, so I came out the start box and I decided that I was going to jump fence one. And felt that okay, then I carry on jump fence two. But the reason I was thinking about this story was like I did have a run out that year because you jumped a ditch and then it was a curve on 4 strides. I think it was like a brush, and I jumped the ditch and I was like, oh, there's another one. Oh, and another one. And another one.
Yeah.
I got to like 7 strides and the horse was like, mate, we can't do this.
You cannot ride backwards at that level, can you?
No.
So I'm already riding backwards down to intermediate, and I thought there's no point.
Intermediate's still pretty bloody big.
It was big enough for me. I mean, having
it's big enough for most people, thank you very much.
I managed to, I got going by the time I got to the trout hatchery. I was like, oh, I've got this now.
And did you finish?
Finished, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was the most amazing. I can't believe I did it.
Was that Splash?
No, Corner Cruise.
Corner Cruise.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was 2013.
Did I interview you?
I'm pretty sure you did.
That must have been very thin, Jenny. Tight top wearing Jenny back then, as Ben likes to call it.
Tight top Jenny, yeah.
So many inappropriate outfits back in those days.
TTJ.
Yeah.
Go and get your interview from Jenny. She's the lady down there with all the skin out.
Yeah. Oh my God, some of those pictures.
The really pretty one.
Oh no, definitely not. So I think one of the other things we were like wanting to talk about is, again, the side of you that people don't see is you behind the scenes. Are you as lovely and as chilled and approachable in the real world? And like,
is that a silly question? That can't be a real question.
Yes, you are. Well, I know you in the real world, but you are like.
Listen, I'm from a normal family. I've got normal friends. I have a normal life. I love people. I think everyone's got something interesting to say.
You do ask questions. Do you know
how
rare that is? People don't ask questions, Carl. But you do. You are genuinely seen
I am interested in what everyone else does because, I mean, it's part of my life to be like that. I mean, but also, I suppose, because I am in a situation where we do a lot of public stuff and, you know, if you don't interact with people, who wants to know you? I mean, you've got to, like, talk to people and...
Oh, I think you'd be surprised. It's very rare.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoy doing what I'm doing and I enjoy listening to other people and... I am social. So I think if you have that, I mean, being unsocial must be a nightmare for people that have to be pushed into situations. I mean, you know, we literally do something every night, every day. You know, we're just always doing stuff. I'm about to embark on 3 weeks in New Zealand. You know, it'll be going around every day visiting all the people that I used to know there. You know, when I used to work in the 90s.
You're the royal family. You've got to like shake hands with people.
No, not at all. These are like old friends. I love it because these are all the people that knew me before I was, you know, like won an event or won a medal or anything. I mean, they're just like, they're the people that,
you are famous.
They're the people that I want to see again, you know, like, and we will have a nice time. So I think it just depends on your personality. I mean, being social is either in you or it isn't it?
But James talking about your perception of how you come across as a really lovely client, and I'm rewinding back in my life when between the ages of kind of like 13 and 21, I was kind of carrying around a bit of a secret, well, quite a big secret, The fact that I was gay, and I remember being isn't inspired the right word? I suppose yeah, probably by yourself, Carl, as a gay man in the equestrian world as well, and Blythe Tate, and Terry Boone actually, and that you guys had it sussed. My perception of you guys was that you had it sussed and that you were living this life as a gay person, and it was all okay, and that really helped me to kind of come out in the end. Did you have it sussed?
That's really cool that you say that, because I mean you don't feel that you're influencing anybody over things like that because it's your life. It's just how your life turns out. Did I have it sussed? I think what I got sussed was if I don't care, no one else will. I think that's what I learned quite early on. I don't make a fuss about it. No one else will make a fuss about it. And it's interesting because obviously I didn't so much as talk to the press. I didn't talk to people. All my friends knew, of course, that they did it, and it was all fine. But my first, relationship with somebody older than me who was educated, who was had been in fashion, who had another life also outside of horses, and who wasn't going to tolerate anyone being silly about this sort of thing. Just like, listen, this is the way you are. Live your life. Be happy. Who cares? Your parents don't care. Why would you care? So I had a lot of positivity around me, so I didn't need to do anything other than just be myself.
And did you find that positivity was accentuated because you were in the equine industry? Because I've found it so... I've never had a problem with it.
No.
I've had problems with it away from horses.
Yeah.
But with the horsey folk and the horsey brigade, they're all so accepting of it.
Absolutely brilliant.
Well, I think you're quite a big reason for part of that.
The horse world is brilliant. I mean, for that, they don't care. They don't ask. And if they do, it's all positive, I mean, you can be who you are. It's a bit like, the equestrian world is a bit like the arts. You kind of feel it's the way, you can be yourself. And I could be. And I didn't have to justify myself. I didn't have to feel any shame in it ever growing up. And it goes back to, like I said to you guys earlier, when my friend was like, what are you doing tonight? And I said, we're doing a podcast. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a load of mates. It will all be fun. Probably talk about being, a gay equestrian or whatever. It's like, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't ever think about it. Because I don't need to. Because I've never had to.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky. And I know that lots of people aren't lucky. Or don't feel they can be. But
did you struggle at all when you came out to family or friends? Or?
No, because bear in mind also, I have moved to live in the UK. So, I mean, I don't have, when I moved here, I didn't have a huge group of friends. Don't have family here, really. So I could just be very, very quiet and just get on with my life. And so, no, not at all. I remember when it first sort of became apparent, and that was I had a girlfriend in my 20s, early 20s. And then when I met somebody that I wanted to have a relationship with, I told her. And I had started my job then at Dr. B's. And I told her on the telephone, and she came round to the house. And I remember there was a knock at the door, and I opened the door, and she slapped me around the face hard. I was like, that's for lying. And I was ashamed, and I felt really bad about what had happened. And but thankfully, I'd been honest before it became terribly serious. So I don't know if any of you remember this, but there was a radio show called. It was on every day, and Simon Bates did it.
Yeah.
What was it called? Oh, I can't remember what it's. Anyway, it was a 10-minute show every day on Radio 1.
I can't think what it was called.
We were all. I've got to remember this name in a minute.
Hang on, I'll look it up.
Google.
Yeah, Google it, because Our Tune it was called.
Oh, there we go.
Our Tune. So every day at 10 o'clock, Our Tune would come on, and it was a 10-minute sob story. It could be somebody that was really ill, somebody that lost their husband, their wife, boyfriend, girlfriend splitting up, boyfriend, splitting up, girlfriend, splitting up, I mean, losing a child. I mean, there were all sorts of stories. It was incredible. So anyway, I'd opened the door. I'd been slapped around the face, told what I was, and about a few weeks later, it was my very first Grand Prix at Dr. B. So we were in the horse box and we were going to Stoneleigh. And so in those days, we used to have a selection trial in March every year. And so anybody who wanted to be on the British team would go to Stoneleigh and do the selection trial. And basically, it was almost like the top 5 from the selection trial in March would go on and compete around the world, Europe really. And then the top 4 would be selected for the team. So it was a big thing. I'd been working for Dr. B for 6 months and I had never ridden Grand Prix and I was due to go and ride there. So we were driving to Stoneleigh and I listened to our tune every day. I mean, me, the grooms, everyone, when it was 10 o'clock, we'd be like, tack room. We'd all run into the tack room. And then we'd all sit there like this, waiting. And then we'd listen to the story and we'd like, you'd either cry, laugh. And then they always played their song at the end of it that meant something about this drama that had happened.
Oh, God, I think I can know where this is going.
So we're driving. Well, I'm not, thankfully. I mean, we had somebody else driving the lorry, but I'm sat next to the driver and my groom sat next to me and we're driving along. So I'm about to do my first Grand Prix and 10 o'clock comes on and our tune comes on. And anyway, the story starts and I'm like, looking out the window and listening to the story. It was a girl telling a story about falling in love with a boy. Boy turns out to be gay. Boy was obviously suppressed about being gay because he came from a small island. And it's going on and we're all... and everyone's looking and I'm like, oh my God. Don't say my name. Don't say my name. This is me. It's me. So anyway, and then I can't remember. I thankfully cannot remember the tune actually that she put on, but it was a very sad tune. And I got to Stoneleigh and I got out the lorry and I remember my friends coming over and looking at me going, was that you on our tune? And I'm like, no, please. And everyone like, was that you? Is that you? So that is how, in a way, I was outed, as you like. So roll on 2 years later, so that was 1990, and I would go to the World Games. Nothing, there was nothing said, nothing in the press, nothing in anything about those days. In 1992, I get a phone call going, after selection, congratulations on being, a gay sportsman. And, you're going to the Olympics, can we come and interview you? And I was like, how do you know I'm gay? I mean, I know that sounds weird to a lot of people, but I mean, I was like, my life isn't out there.
Yeah.
My friends might know, but how did you know? I mean, why am I getting calls in the press? Anyway, I just thought, take it on the chin and get on with it. And, this is the way it's going to be. And it was somebody else. It was actually an American rider that had given a load of names that he knew, that he thought or knew was gay, and he gave them to the press and said, these are gay people competing. I mean, in a way, it all turned out to be, because it was all about promotion. I mean, it was all about anybody can be at the Olympic Games. It's not just about these fabulous, muscular athletes, all these gorgeous girls that are all, 6 foot and throwing javelins and running everywhere. And, I mean, it is for everybody, the best go, whatever you are. So in a way, I thought, well, it's too late now because, that's what's been given to them. But then you roll on London 2012 and I had an interview to do with a fairly major paper after we won gold. And I went in, she was a really nice girl. We sat, we chatted and everything and talked about how dressage had come so far, and obviously we won gold, and it's a big thing. And then at the end, she says to me, so I understand you're gay. So I said, yeah, it's true. So she said, do you have a partner? I said, no. I said, look, I've been concentrating on Olympics this year, and I said, that's what my focus has been. And I've been doing this for a year, and, maybe when this is over, I can, get on and sort my life out. So the headline the next day in the major paper is nothing to do with this lovely Olympic gold medal that the team had won or anyone else. It just said, looking for love. That was the headline in the newspaper.
No way.
And I was
I bet that really
I mean,
upset
I should not have been ashamed, but like my grandparents, who never quite got their heads around it.
And that's not their fault.
They didn't say anything to me, and maybe they never read it. I don't know, but that was my first thought. So, I mean, there still is a bit of you that you're still like protecting people that might not understand.
And if you'd been straight, do you think that would have been the headline?
I mean, it couldn't have been. No.
So it's only
absolutely not.
So if you'd have said that and you'd been straight, you were looking for love.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't find love, a straight person can, or or they'll. Yeah, I didn't even know what the relevance was to do I have a partner. I mean, at the end of the day, we're there competing. You're talking about, but it's what I mean. Every year that evolves after that becomes normal. And like I said, I've always, sometimes I think you will probably, feel what I do, as in like sometimes you're saying somebody's not comfortable with me. But somebody could not be comfortable with you for other reasons, or you for other reasons.
He does take his top off a lot. It makes everyone uncomfortable, but we enjoy it.
Or very comfortable.
Or it gives him a lot of following. So, I mean, on the other hand, we'd all like that about our followers, but I don't have the top to do that. But we all have qualities, don't we? I mean, but there are things that I sometimes feel like might make people...
Yeah, I've found that I don't really have that anymore. I don't think about it anymore. I don't really think about the being gay thing anymore. I mean, I definitely in that time, definitely. I mean, it was like the most kind of fairly awful thing really at the time. But ever since I kind of told my mum about it, and then I got outed. Kind of not the same as you, not on the radio, but like I got outed by somebody at college, and so everybody knew, which was awful at the time, and actually probably the best thing to have happened, because it just. At least everyone knew, and but like gradually, year on year, I've become more and more comfortable with it and with myself. But I think people have become more comfortable with it. So it's totally normal.
That is true. But I mean, I don't. I live out here in the sticks. Most of my friends are married heterosexual people. Of course, I have gay friends as well. I mean, I have a huge amount of it. Nobody's uncomfortable. We all have a lovely time. Friends are your friends. I mean, I don't go around to people's houses. We never talk about things like this anymore. Because we don't need to. And we shouldn't have to either. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, I like somebody, they like me, we're going to be friends. I don't like you, it's not for being whatever reason, or you don't like me. I mean, I don't have any, and I don't feel it anymore. And I'm thrilled for that, for anybody, not just in equestrian. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you have a child, I mean, my father's come a long way, because, I mean, he found it really difficult in the beginning. And now he is like so cool with every single friend of mine, whatever they're like, and I've got some shockers.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
I've got some shockers. But I love it. The older you get, the more steps you get, the more you realise that somebody else's life is not your business. That's what goes straight into what I say to him. What other people think of me is not my business, and other people's lives isn't mine either.
Do you think, though, however much everyone is now becoming at this point in life, like you say, like nobody cares, everyone. But still, if you are that 8-year-old Simon, even in this day and age, is it still, no matter how comfortable everyone is with it?
We've had this discussion before about this podcast. Is like, if I'd listened to something like this and listened to you talking like you're talking now, what you've already said, it would have really helped me. Then. Because I obviously thought that it was just an absolute disaster, nightmare, and everyone was going to hate me, and it was going to be awful, and life was going to be terrible.
That is awful.
If I could have listened to what you've just said, or the conversation we've just had, I'd be like, do you know what, actually?
It will be all right.
But
it's still the same now. Like, sorry to interrupt, but it's still the same now. Like, it's still hard to accept, I think, even though it is a lot easier to come out now.
But we've probably had, like Tom Daley is probably the most successful Olympic gay guy, of recent times. And he, I am too old, as it were, to be an influence for younger people now. If I had been able to do this in 1992, that would have been, but he's been able to do that as a young person that is an inspiration that, has helped other people in sport. I think he has hugely elevated the fact of it's just not an issue anymore. You know?
And
your lives.
You've got like Ollie Alexander. Like he's done a brilliant job with that as well, making it so that it's totally okay to be whoever you want to be. It's not just about being gay. It's all of it.
And Tom Daly's made knitting cool.
Yeah, he has.
It's a lot of good things.
Oh my God.
That doesn't make me want to take it up, I might add.
I don't know. I was tempted. I was nearly influenced. But then I was just staring at his pets and I was like, I'm just going to watch you knit with your top off. Thank you very much.
I
was down with that.
The thing, I mean, you're obviously the favourite because all you're doing is tops off. So that's obviously like...
I'm allowed to window shop, all right? You disappointed
So Jenny said
me.
You have seen Ben without his top off, and I went, well, only on pictures, yeah. And she was like, I mean, I just do anything I can to make him take his top off whenever.
Is it going to happen tomorrow?
Maybe. What are you doing tomorrow?
Maybe.
We're recording the live pubcast. So
yeah.
Maybe he will.
So who's coming to that?
We have Gemma Tattersall, or Stevens. I can't get over calling her that.
Gemma will be
I know.
Great.
Richard Davison.
Great. Where are you doing this? At the Ligon?
Well, it's in a pub, so Richard's in.
At the Ligon?
Ligon, yes. And then we have Austin O'Connor.
Fabulous.
And then the world will implode on itself because we have Lucinda Green. And she is going to be in a pub pod with us.
I mean, she is fabulous, Lucinda.
She's
random.
Fabulously bonkers.
She's random. She said, what a great panel.
I know, right?
I mean, that is like...
I know.
I mean, you've got the swearer.
What, me?
You've got Gemma.
Yeah, Gemma, yes.
You've got the politician, Richard.
Yes.
You've got Lucinda, completely bonkers, and we'll just say it how it is. And who's the other one?
And Austin O'Connor for the Irish.
There's a bit of Irish in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brilliant.
And what we love
my
about...
God, now I will have to start watching the podcast, because that will be... And you lot, all you...
And it's us.
We'll all be
yes,
us.
exactly.
Oh my God, that'll be...
The whole gang.
That is an evening to...
Yes, in a pub. We are breaking boundaries here.
To be fair, I drink
Kind of
most of the
pub
time when we do it anyway.
Yeah.
I know, he's always
the best
drinking.
way to say your thing, isn't it, though? One drink in and you're like, okay, I wasn't going to say that, but I will.
So, we have a tradition on this podcast.
Right.
You get naked. No, I'm joking. Ben started drinking.
Ben, get out.
He was getting ready.
Or shag, marry, avoid.
Shag, marry, avoid. No. But yeah, with your teammates. Shag, marry, avoid.
Oh my God. Don't ask me that.
From all of the Olympics. No, weird. First of all, it's what has annoyed you this week. We've all got to do it, not just you. Would you like to start?
No, you start.
Would you like...
Because I'm going to think about it. I mean, this week's halfway through, so there's not a lot of days.
Or just what annoyed you in general. It could be over, because we do this every week, so ours is this week, but it can be... So mine, I've got a few. I always have a few.
Literally, she has a list.
I always have a list. Mine is my chin hair. I do not know why. Okay, it doesn't have to be about horses.
Lean in.
No, fuck off. I'm not leaning in. Right. Why? Since I
Zoom
turned
in.
40.
Harry, zoom in.
What about the tash?
What?
Zoom in.
Why?
Zoom in. Wait.
Why, since I've turned, what evolutionary benefit does chin hair have for me at this point in time?
Maybe it's your winter coat.
Right. I'm not going to name names, but I was interviewing a very famous eventer at badminton one year. Yeah. And the problem with chin hair is, you guys don't have this problem. Problem with chin hair is, you can't see it normally when you look in a mirror, and then you'll be in a lift, and they've got that weird lighting, or you'll be in the car, and then you'll suddenly see it. And as I was interviewing this very famous woman, the lights suddenly hit her chin as it came out of the clouds, and I was like, "Oh, holy Jesus Christ! That is
I've got a new game. I want to guess who that is.
No, I can't. You're not allowed.
I think I know. I think I know.
All I could think during this interview in badminton was, "Oh my God, I hope."
Had she won badminton?
No.
Has she ever won badminton?
She was second.
No. And all I could think was, I hope I never get that much chin hair. And I was in my early 30s, chin hair free at this point in time. And I just remember thinking, Jesus, it's wispy, it's blowing in the wind. And I lost track. And there was some substantial chin hair there. I never thought this would happen to me. I was on the plane, in the toilets, coming over from Canada. And the light in the toilets is quite aggressive, isn't it? Because you shut the door and the light goes on. I looked in the mirror and I literally let out a squeal. I was like, why has no one told me how much chin hair I've got? Now, all I can think about when people are talking to me is, can they see the chin hair? Like
yes,
the person?
It's lovely.
Oh, fuck.
It's fine. I like it. Obviously.
It's a lovely part.
I talk a lot on this podcast because I'm getting perimenopausal. I'm sweating even now. And I'm like, oh, who cares? I'm just going to be honest.
What's your ick then? Is that your ick?
No, this is what's annoyed me.
Right.
And so if anyone's got any good advice for chin hair, I'm just going to throw it out there. I look back at old me, tight top, when I first met you, Jenny, and I'm like, wow, I was so slim and chin hairless. It's all going downhill, but fuck it.
But it does for everybody, surely.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I look at pictures of myself.
With my greys, like on my
but
chin hair.
Keep them shaved.
Grey hair on a man is distinguished. Grey chin hair on a woman is not. Right, Simon, what's annoyed you this week? He always starts off with, not much annoys me, and then goes on a rant.
Yeah, that really goes through it.
Yeah. I go.
Not having enough having enough hours in the day, I think.
That's always a good one because it's so true.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's true of everyone, though.
Yeah, it is really
getting
annoying.
tired annoys.
But it's also the getting tired isn't added extra to that. But I whinged about that last week.
Yeah. It's all right. You can carry it on to this one. You're allowed to whinge about being tired.
But yeah, no, I'm quite tired.
While you're staying.
But I feel quite bad saying that in front of Carl because, like, you know, he does this teaching all the time. I've done 4 days in like the last 6 days of like.
Don't feel bad. Like Carl said, the horse does all the work.
Yeah.
The only difference is that I set up an exercise for all 4 days, which was the same exercise, but I have to move the jump wings every single time for basically every single jump that they did. So, which is a bit different for the dressage.
Yeah,
because it's like constantly.
It's a sign to take up dressage.
That's a bad time. Yeah,
sign to take up dressage. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
right
So I'm just not very good at it. So, so probably not.
Or you offer one free lesson at the end of the day, but that person has to hang out with you all day and move the jump wings.
Yes.
That's
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
that you can watch and learn all day.
The problem is though that I don't know what you like, but I'd be like, oh, it's not quite in the right place, so I'm just going to have to move it just half an inch.
Yeah, just like
yeah,
nudge.
So yeah, not having enough hours in the day.
That's just that's you every week, right? Do you want to go before Ben or after Ben? How good's yours, Ben?
you go.
Quite
Ben.
good. Yeah.
Is it? Go on then.
So,
Oh wow, that's so.
He is off.
So we've just moved house. So Mum and Dad have moved out of the farmhouse because me and George are having the baby. So they said, you know, why don't you take residence?
Oh, you nearly broke one of
Why
my
don't you
nice
take?
glasses.
Why don't you take residence and, like, you know, post to move into another house because we're in a small house, too small for the baby. Don't go to a middle house. Come here. We'll go somewhere else. So we moved in, and the house is like old, like hundreds of years old, parts of it, and then it's been built outwards. And so there's loads of work that needs doing to it and stuff. It's a beautiful house, but, you know, like, we need to rewire it. We need to do all different bits. But there was one thing in the house, in the room that was to be the baby's room. It was the only room in the house with a brand new carpet in it. And then George had her mum. I'm saying this because I'm hoping the baby will have come by the time this podcast is out. But then George and her mum and her auntie came to start looking at what needed to be decorated for the house. And then she sent me a message saying, brilliant, we've got loads done. We've ripped up the carpet in the child's room, measured it for a new one, and we're going shopping on Monday. And I was like, what?
How's that make you feel? Angry or sad or
Scared. Because I was like, if the one carpet in the house I was sure about is gone, not even going, gone. What else are we doing to this house?
I'm going to take you to Birmingham at the weekend and we're going to buy you another carpet. There's a very good carpet shop up there. We've been there. Like, this whole house is done through Birmingham carpet shops. You'll be all right.
That's just the most random
Replace.
line I've ever heard. I'm taking you to Birmingham.
Well, I know. I've only been there because I went to look at carpets in Birmingham, so that's my advice.
He's very good at accents. Can you do a Birmingham accent?
Like a Tommy Shelby.
Birmingham was terrible.
Is it not as good as your Scottish? His Scottish accent's excellent.
Well, yeah, but that's a matter of opinion. Most Scots think that it's
Do they
not.
understand you when you're speaking Scottish, or do they
Go on.
just give you that?
Well,
You-
my Scottish friends,
your Scottish friends actually
So
believe
I've
that?
spoken to, Grant,
Mackenzie.
Grant Mackenzie. I speak to him, no, I don't speak to him in my Scottish accent, but he's heard it.
That's
good,
really
isn't
good.
it?
And he does say to me, no, it's not too bad actually. But I've got other friends that are like, oh, actually, you need to swear more. Like, if you say the C word a lot more, then you sound more
Or
Scottish.
Do you say shut?
Shut, not so much. But like if you say then like
That'll be edited out.
We might need to beat. We're going to have to beat that
then
one.
that makes you sound really Scottish.
Even I haven't
You know,
dropped the C.
so I went because I'm obviously friends. I'm friends, not obviously. I'm friends with Grant's sister, Lee. So Lee comes here. So Lee gets so pissed with me because every Scottish thing on Instagram that makes me wet myself because I love it. I send it to her and she's just like, I never get a kiss back. And it's just like, what is that? Or why are you sending me that? I'm like, well, you're Scottish. Surely you must think it's funny. I laugh whenever I hear the accent. And, like, why can't you? But they don't laugh like we do about Scots.
No, I'm married to one. Trust me. Yeah.
I mean, I used to go and do clinics up there and I would do 10 or 11 lessons a day. This is years ago. And I used to teach them all in Scottish. I didn't speak to one of them in English. And I got used to the fact I'd get off the plane and start speaking Scottish, and then I would get back on the
let's hear your Scottish accent.
because I know.
Oh my goodness, come on, Carl.
No, Lee will tell you it's terrible. So Grant probably absolutely thinks yours is marvellous, but Lee would say mine's dreadful. So.
No, but Grant's one of my best.
But yours is good.
It is really good.
It's that kind of like
all my English friends say that it's good.
And his French is very good as well. It's quite sexy.
English French, strongly.
Yeah.
No, just the French accent.
Go on, live us a little bit.
In English.
Yeah.
Oh God!
So
I do not know what to say. I'm so grateful to you for helping me when I was very young. And,
okay, that's quite inspirational for me because I do loads of accents. I love that. I'm not doing any on this. But I love doing it.
I was teaching in Northern Ireland at the weekend, and I was told that my Northern Irish accent's not very good.
See, I have an Irish lady in the yard, so I speak Irish to her every day. I teach a lot of Scots. I speak Scottish. I speak Welsh, and I speak.
Oh, Welsh!
Welsh is hard. Go on, have a go at Welsh.
Do you do South African?
Well, I do, but if you think I'm actually from the Channel Islands, so if you've ever been to the Channel Islands, our accent is
a bit
South African. So a lot of people think. I mean, I've dropped it, so because I've lived it too long now. So, but my friends and they'll speak with a bit of a South African twang. So that's what, you'd never say to somebody, are you from the Channel Islands? You say, are you from South Africa?
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what I used to ask us. Yeah, but I don't speak it anymore. Anyway. But then, funny enough, my family moved there, so they're all out there now.
Can you do Barbados?
I do, because I've got a girl from Trinidad and Tobago that works for me. So she has really helped me. But I sound a bit like Precious from Little Britain when I'm doing it, so... I mean, if any of you remember that, so it's like she laughs, but only she would. I mean, only her and I laugh about it. But yeah, so I've had to watch Precious a lot of Little Britain.
Do you find that so obviously you've got these people that work for you, because I get it sometimes when I spend a lot of time with somebody with an accent, I morph into their accent or the way that they speak. Like I've got Maggie who is basically Devon. And or Mr. Grieve. No, I can't do it. But I start like
right, my lover.
Oh, right, my lover. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
I'm from Devon.
That's right. If you either have an ear for it or you don't, it's like earlier when he said farmer, and I was like, you're not from Devon, but you just said farmer. So that I know there's a bit of Devon in there somewhere, isn't there? So I know that just what that word you said. But it's the first thing I thought when you said it. I went, oh, she's from Devon. Oh no, I wasn't going to swear on the podcast either. Anyway, there we go. My mission.
Go on, we've been going for ages. What has annoyed you this week?
Well, we're only in 3 days of this week, so literally, I can say the yards run smoothly. The lessons have all gone well. I did go out for dinner one night and had a pork chop, and they didn't crisp up my fat.
Oh.
Criminal.
Because I love pork, right? I do.
Pork belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had to cut it off because they hadn't crisped it, so I was
Did you
like...
send it back?
No.
Save it for the dog?
I did say when they came, I said, aren't you supposed to crisp up the pork? So they were like, no, if you just we just leave it on, you just eat the pork. So that was ruined my night this week. Which I know is very minor compared to what's going on in the world, but, pork was great, but the actual fat was terrible.
I just have it in
But I did bring it home for my dogs.
I was going to say,
we all shared it.
In bed late at night on TripAdvisor. Specs halfway down his nose.
Don't go. Yeah, exactly.
Not crisp.
I would never write about things like that. I don't.
Very distressing interaction.
That's another thing I've learned in life. Don't go back.
So you wouldn't be the sort of person that would send something back? Food-wise?
No.
Yeah, no.
No, definitely not. I was taught that. I was also taught
that was absolutely lovely. Thanks so much.
Never coming back.
Right, we have been going for a very long time. Poor Harry is like, oh my God, my legs are killing me.
Harry's starving.
Yeah.
We do actually have to cook dinner.
Yes.
We are cooking dinner for you guys.
So we're going to end. We all know what our equestrian pet peeves are for anyone who is listening to the podcast for the first time. Go back and listen to our episodes. Oh, you're poking me. What?
Lord.
Being poked by Carl Hester.
No,
This
it's
is my
actually because I
childhood
do now
dream.
realise that, like you said, what annoys you this week, and I've just done a piece about a piece of pork, which is totally ridiculous. But actually, what I was going to say, because you were doing Ix as well, so what I was going to say was, it's actually teaching people, and because we all have headphones now, so you teach somebody and they talk back to you, and teaching people that talk to their horses like they know what English language means. I mean, you need to give your horse a half hole, right? That's from my mouth.
Yeah.
From their mouth to the horse. You need to stop pulling. Stop pulling. Stop pulling. The horse doesn't understand English. You've got to transfer your words to your body. It's your body that will tell the horse to do that. Or you need to bend left more on that circle. So I say to the horse, bend left, bend left, bend left. I love it because I hear things now, because I didn't teach with a microphone for over 20 years and now I teach with a microphone. I'm now hearing people saying these things all the time. And that's what I'd like to say more than the pork chop thing.
Mine's just one way, because when I'm teaching jumping, I have earpieces, and they can hear me, but I can't hear them, and they get really, really worried about it. They're like, "Well, can you hear me as well?" Yeah. I'm like, "No, you can literally swear under your breath as much as you can say how awful I am. I won't hear it."
So my wish for 2025 is, please communicate through your body, your arms, and your reins, not your mouth.
It's so funny that you say it, because one of my big rules when I teach people liberty is, if we talk about having verbal cues or sound cues, and one of them is that you're not allowed to use a word you understand for a cue.
Yeah, interesting.
So for me, my backup cue for a horse is ch, because there's no point in saying back, because if you use a word that you understand, a tiny part of your brain thinks the horse should understand. And you see people stood by the side of the lorry, Bob the cob stood on the dandy brush, and they go, "Move over, Bob," and he doesn't. So then they whack him, and you're like, "Whoa, you didn't explain."
Yeah, Bob has no
idea.
idea.
So it's absolutely bang. I couldn't agree with you more on that. If you speak to them, you'll think that. Do you know what I mean? You think that they understand, and then that can build resentment within the partnership.
Very good point.
I've just realised that's actually one of my equestrian icks, is people who click for their horses when they're trying to move. So you go in the stable and you push them back and they click, whereas it's normally a forward motion, and they're going at the same time as pushing them back. And I'm like, well, you're clicking and you're saying push back. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, it really winds me out.
Don't ask for tea and be disappointed, if you don't get coffee. That's fair.
Wow. Right, well, we could chat for hours, but instead you're just going to have to come back on. I feel like this is kind of all the stuff I've always wanted to chat to you about, but we've always been at an Olympics or something, and you're not allowed to say shit at the Olympics. So, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
And thank you for letting us come into your home.
Thank you.
It's so nice to see the dogs. And
we'll carry on the night.
Yes, we are going to carry on. But all that is left to say, our podcast is sponsored by Charles Owen, who we absolutely love and adore, and we hope you've enjoyed it. If this is your first time tuning in because you're listening because it's Carl, I promise you all the other episodes are great. Like, share, follow. I'm learning all this stuff, Carl. I have no idea what I'm doing. But Carl, all that is left to say is shut up and ride.
I will. Thank you very much.